All right, welcome to the first ever episode of Show Me the Source podcast, where today we're going to be talking about a couple different things. The release of Nano Banana do you say Nano or Nano Banana?
We say it properly. We say Nano Banana.
That's terrible. We're going to
It's,
call it Nano today. We're
it
going to call
sounds
it
more
Nano.
it sounds more sophisticated my way. Let's just get that clear.
It does. I
Nano
hate it still.
Banana.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about Nano Banana in addition to OpenAI's latest release of GPT-5. We're your co-hosts, Tim Harvey and Ryan Durrani.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. First one.
Number one, we're going to look back in like 12 months and see how terrible the first episode was. And luckily, hopefully, we only have maybe 12 views.
This one's going to blow up now. It's going to be our biggest podcast yet. So what we can do is I'm just going to jump straight into the Nano Banana stuff and just like give you some use cases, how we've been using it. If you're not familiar with what it is, just to give you a bit of a rundown. Google released its kind of competitor to GPT. You remember when GPT was like super good for images, right? When did we did the first run of this? Maybe 2 months ago.
I'm still using those images. At the event in Dallas that I spoke at, I used my AI generated image. It still looks good. But yeah, it's probably 3 months ago.
Yeah. So like since then, there hasn't really been many brands, like big brands that are competing against OpenAI. They've got like Mid-Journey and that's probably about it.
Yeah.
So this is Google throwing its hat into the ring. And the big thing that this does better than GPT-5, and we've used me and you as examples, is the character consistency, which GPT-5 didn't have. So let me just show you this. And while I do, we've got some surprises in here. So I took this earlier. As you can tell, I'm not comfortable in front of the camera. I don't do selfies often. That's sarcasm.
I bet you do them all the time.
100%, all the time. Literally, my phone, if I show my camera roll, it's like 95% me. So what I wanted to do is just use this as a good example to, agents that have maybe outdated headshots, or maybe they want to clean some things up. They want to change, the color of a room or change the floor of something, whatever it might be. This helps keep the consistency of any image. So this is just me. I said, can you just change the color of my t-shirt? So this is the original, like, oh my God, that's super zoomed in. Hold on. There we go. There we go.
Look at that mug. Look at that
mug.
Look
at that. What a guy. How handsome is he? So this is the original, straight from my phone, like nothing crazy. And then this is the version where I said, oh, can you just change my t-shirt to white? Now, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but the character consistency is there. Like if you did this in GPT-5, what would you get, do you reckon?
It wouldn't look like you, number one. I've tried this, and you have to spend so much time putting in the right prompts. Otherwise, it's going to completely hallucinate. It's not going to look like anything like you.
Remember when we did Jimmy's?
Yeah,
we messed his hairstyle up.
Yeah, he had like a widow's peak, like a vampire.
It was bad. It was super bad. But this is like not too far. Like this is me with a beard. I actually quite like that.
It's a rough beard.
It is pretty wiry. Rough. It is a little wiry. I'm not sure if my real beard gives it that feel. Like, why does it do that?
It's a good thing you keep it short. If that's what it looks like, you look like Chad Wright.
Dude, I would shave that thing immediately if it looked like that. So that like just to show, I'm just going to kind of keep this real short and sweet. But if you haven't tried Nano Banana yet for headshots or changing images and outfits, I highly recommend it. And just to give you a bit of another example, so for real estate, sometimes we need inspiration. We might work with clients, buyers, sellers who don't have, they can't see what their house might look like once they move into it. So you can take a room like this. This is just off Google. And you can tell it, hey, I want to change the color. I want to change the floor. I want to add spotlights to it. Mm-hmm. Maybe I want to add a bookshelf in the background. So stuff like this would cost, I don't know, over in the UK, maybe like a couple thousand if you did like renderings of the home. You can probably do this thing now in a few minutes on Nano Banana. So
hey, for those agents who aren't using Nano Banana today, is it free?
It is free. Yeah, you can use the trial. It's obviously capped. You can't just rinse it dry, but it is free for now. But if it is, I think the lower tier is like $25 for the month. So
Yeah. I think agents are spending a ton of money, as they should, on properly staging the home, getting the professional photography done. There
Yep.
goes an AirPod. I got these little, I got these
Yeah,
little
tiny
ears,
ears.
tiny ears. I have another. I got the wires. I just want to look like a DJ though. No, but agents spend a lot of money on professional photography, which comes at a true cost, right? Eats into their
Yep.
own margins. But you could do this. So let's say you have a listing that has, maybe it's not properly staged. Maybe there are people living there, right? And so we all know when somebody goes into a house and is considering buying a house, they want to envision themselves in the house.
Uh-huh.
So if it's cluttered and maybe it's dated, you can, without deceiving potential buyers, you can show the legitimate photos, but also give them an idea what it will look like with maybe modifications, new flooring, without the clutter if somebody's living in there. And then the other use case I love would be headshots.
Yep.
Headshots are expensive. Team
Mhm.
photography. If you have a team, you have 30 agents, you're shelling on a lot of money on an annual basis. This is a really inexpensive way, pennies on the dollar for tokens to get updated headshots.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. Like what I want to do with this podcast moving forward, like today included, is be able to give agents the tools to just do stuff. Like no excuses. If you need new headshots or you want to, add something unique to what you offer to prospective buyers or sellers, this is just a really nice, affordable or free way of doing, some real clever stuff. So this like the tool of the week so far for me. And I highly recommend you go on Twitter or TikTok and have a look at the examples of some of the other stuff these guys are doing because it's crazy good. But this is just to say, you can do some really fun stuff with the old Nano Banana.
Did I see that you used me in one?
I did. Oh yes. So, so
Send me
this
that
is
file.
so
I want to
this
use
is
this.
we need to give some context to this first. Oh no, don't spoil it. Do you want to give some background to what the kind
Yeah,
of the
sure.
running joke?
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I never pay for headshots. I did maybe a year ago. This is one of the photos. I hated the photos. I never used them. There's probably 2 out of the 30 that I used, this being one of them. And I don't know what the joke is, man, because I think it's a good jacket. I don't get
Yeah,
it. I
man,
don't get the joke.
it's great. Yeah, I don't know what the joke is myself, really, but
I take heat. I take heat for the white suit.
you do.
It's not white
Um,
though.
what is it like a beige,
Yeah, it's like
cream,
beige.
like a
Cream.
cream suit?
Yeah,
I'm not
Boston
sure.
cream.
I feel like that's going to be like in the UK. We have I don't know if you've got it in the US. Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. I feel like your suit is Marmite. Um,
Marmite.
yeah. All the Americans watching this, my friends across in the States, Google Marmite, and that is essentially what Tim's suit is.
What is
Um,
what is Marmite?
it's like
It's a
a
it's a British savory food.
yeah, it's a real nasty tasting spread.
There's
I forget what it's
no
made
such.
out of.
It says yeast. So
Yeah,
you
it's
already
like just
lost me.
yeah.
Yeah. There's no such
It's
thing
a
as savory food in England.
do you know what? I had a conversation with somebody who lives in America and has done for the last 20 years. And I mean, this is what they said, not me. They were saying that the food in America is way worse. And she's British. She's lived there for 20 years. So she has, a fair assessment. I'm just saying.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips, sausage and chips, all the chips. Or fries, what you guys say.
Yeah, we call them
Um,
fries.
but this is way better. Like Fly Dragon colors, black and orange, hasn't changed your face. I think it's
That's
good.
pretty spot on. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. I
So,
like that. Send me that file. I'm gonna update my social
I'll
profiles.
I'll invoice you $25 for so yeah, that's Nano Banana. That's I think, super use case. Use it. Definitely use it. Get it into your work stream ASAP.
It's
Um,
quick too, right? How long did it take you to
yeah,
do that for me?
literally 45 seconds. It took no time at all. And you can see
What?
like the level of prompt is nothing.
Yeah, can you zoom in a
Um,
little bit?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we're not talking 1,200 characters on a prompt here. We're talking about just change this suit to
Yep.
black and add a orange pocket square. Cool.
Yeah.
Tool of the week. Use it.
Tool of the week, Nano Banana. Okay, sweet. So next thing we've got on the list is GPT-5's release. Obviously, we're in the weeds with this every single day. We have been since it released. And I think if anybody has used it, there was this kind of like widespread panic and of a bit of a, if you like visit Reddit like I do, there was a bit of a
Yeah.
backlash But I think from your perspective, what have you seen the most? Because obviously you're using it just as much as anybody else.
Yeah, we write a lot of content for agents across the U.S. and Canada. Anytime a new model comes out, throws us through hoops, because
Yeah.
now the prompts might not be working the same way, so the output isn't as good. It's not passing AI detection. We ran into all of that. So after a couple of weeks of using it, we had to refine our prompts to get them to get the output we were looking for, the quality of the content for the person reading it, making sure it's passing AI detection, so Google's not going to stuff that down to page 10. Same thing with the models. So it
Yeah.
took us a little bit, but that's the importance, I think, of recognizing if you have a prompt and it's working well for you. Anytime a new model comes out, you need to you need to QC your work to make sure you're getting that same level of output. So it took us a couple weeks, I'd say, but
Yeah.
now we are firing on all cylinders. We've got new prompts. We're one-shotting the content. What I mean is we're not having to go back and say rewrite this section. It's doing what we want it to do on the first pass.
Yeah, and it is a super good point for people who have been using GPT-3 or GPT-4o, which just seems to be like the kind of fan favorite. The big difference between, like, if you have switched over to GPT-5, and just to give you some advice, like GPT-5 is, the way that I would describe it is, it's kind of sacrificing how smart it can be for the sake of speed. So you might get your answers very quickly, but the comparable output versus even O3 is going to be slightly worse. So that was like where the original backlash came from, right? It's like, this is
Yeah.
terrible, send it back, I hate it. But with a little bit of tweaking, and I forget the stat, I think it's something like 48% or 50% better a GPT-5 with web search turned on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're using it for content, if you're using it for social media, if you're using it for listen descriptions, make sure web search is turned on. Otherwise, you're going to run through those hallucinations again.
Yeah, I know. I wonder how many people are actually using that. The other thing to call out too is thinking mode. So we
Yeah.
are writing it in just the normal mode, and it's much faster. Thinking mode is slower, but the output is so much better. Maybe a little bit rigid. I think we've noticed.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the event last week, I said something to the effect of, to me, thinking mode is like the old man in a chair swirling his Merlot. So it takes a little bit of time, but the output's fantastic.
A bit like me. I'm that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm the wise British guy, swirling the Merlot. Like,
I was just swirling the Marmite.
yeah, swirling the Marmite, thinking about my fish and chips,
Yeah.
terrible weather, and whatever stereotypes we've got. That's what I think about in my wooden chair. So I think the recommendation we would give agents, if you are using GPT-5, there's probably two things actually, and use them as you will. GPT-5 thinking, like you said, incredibly good output as standard. A little bit longer. Probably, what would you say it takes us to write an article?
5 minutes, maybe.
5 minutes?
Not. Yeah, which seems like forever if you're used to it taking 60 seconds.
Yeah. But then if you compare it to what it would normally take you to write an article,
Yeah,
which
true.
is a day,
Yeah, yeah.
I'd wait the 5 minutes for
That's
sure.
version one. A data
Yeah.
for version one. Yeah, I'd say about 5 minutes. Yeah, go back, go get a coffee, go get your Marmite, come back, it's written.
Yeah. Go get your Marmite, spread it on your, what do you have over there? What's the bread called?
Well, we have English muffins. Do you just call them muffins?
Yeah, we just call it muffins. Yeah. It's like American football. You guys just call it football.
Oh, yeah, we just call it football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
Also another cool point, if you are interested, which you might not be, but we'll throw it anyway. GPT-5 has its own cookbook of prompts. OpenAI released it, so there is a helpful guide. I can probably drop the link in the description if you want to check it out, so you can understand how you use it better. And it does apply to social media. It will apply to, and I'm just going to kind of call this out. If you're using ChatGPT for your social media, it's incredibly obvious. Here's the thing, here's the kicker. It's not just this, it's that. Like, it's super obvious. Just put the effort in. And these prompts will show you how to do that so you can sound, a little bit better in the noise.
Sound human again.
Yes, sound human. That's the point. Like, you just need to sound human quicker.
Yeah, with a little less M dash.
Yeah, a little less M dash, a little more personality, a little less it was this, now it's that. Okay, so this is what I've been looking forward to, because I've actually got a bunch of questions about this, because I obviously wasn't there. I'm across the pond, but you were at Dallas last week for the lab event, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the lab event put on by the Real Estate Collective, right on the back end of Tom Ferry Summit. It was on Friday, so I flew down to Dallas, took a nice plane ride from Boston, but we hit storms by the way, so we had to go through. We went through like we went over Shreveport, over Tammy's turf, went basically to
Okay.
the Gulf of Mexico. Or I guess is it now the Gulf of America? Went to the Gulf, and then we had to. Anyway, it was a long flight, but the event was great. So we had a room full of agents for a full day, workshop style. And so what I did, which was great, I didn't have to prepare any slides. I wasn't up there doing a keynote, which is awesome. All I did is I took everyone from prompt all the way to getting content, website content ranking on page one of Google. So I just
Nice.
showed them everything. So gave away a prompt. I think what we did was living in.
Yep.
So I mean, we should probably talk about that too, Ryan.
Yeah, yeah.
The types of content that ranks really well, not just on Google, right? Traditional search. I mean, Google still has what 8 billion searches a day,
Something
something stupid,
crazy.
a
Yeah.
week or whatever it is. It's like 8 billion compared to 1 billion with ChatGPT. But the content that we're doing is ranking on Google. But it's
Hmm.
more importantly, we're of the opinion that hey, the world's going here to ChatGPT, to Grok, Gemini, AI mode with Google. So it's important for us is we're helping these agents with first mover advantage
Yep.
become the agent AI recommends, and you'll probably build a moat around your business there, pretty similar to Google Business Profile, like the
Hmm.
Map Pack. Those agents who recognize that early, they're probably still there, and good luck getting rid of them from the top three. And they're the ones getting the lion's share of the phone calls, and so that's how it's already happening today. Our agents are getting calls from ChatGPT, and there's certain types of content that works best to get them picked up as the best agent or one of the top agents in a given market.
And on that note, I think you had somebody who took your prompt from last week and ran it
Yeah.
pretty much immediately, right? So I'm just going to pull this up just to kind of show the example of what you're talking about. So,
Yeah, shout out to Chase. Chase is one
Chase,
of the event organizers.
yes, I just followed Chase on Instagram. Seems like a super friendly, like
Great guy.
energetic guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
seems super cool. So walk me through it. So he got the prompt from you. Well, obviously
Hmm.
downloaded it from our site. And
Yeah.
then what ran this pretty much immediately.
Yeah, I'll have to ask him how long it took him to do, and I'm going to be reaching out to every agent. So what we did is after I walked the dog, here's the prompt, here's how you use thinking mode for GPT-5, and some other third-party tools to make sure it's optimized. We went through
Hmm.
the about 40 minutes to go through the whole thing, and then he reached back out to me just a couple days later with the article, which is fantastic. So he used the prompt um, to a T and what we would recommend. There's so many factors that go into it, go into being recommended by AI or even landing on page one of Google. Like we probably don't have the time to get into it all today, but there's your technical SEO, there's the off-page SEO, your authority. But this is we'll just look at the one of the three legs to the SEO stool, which is your on-site SEO, right? On-page
Yep.
SEO. So he followed the prompt, but he did one thing I didn't. I don't even think I recommended this, but love that he did this. After he published this blog,
Yep.
what he did is he recorded a reel.
Okay.
I mean, he's great on video, and so he's
Yep.
walking, he's talking about living in Cyprus, and he's basically it was a call to action. I can't remember if it was check out this blog I wrote or somewhere he drove people from social to the blog, which actually helps organic
Yep.
reach as well.
Yeah, super. Just I'm going to use your phrase here, like stomp that one, like foot stomp it. So what, like when people do this, right? This is super important. More than anything, is that we can give the prompt like we did for Chase. He delivered on it, brilliant. The next stage of that is being able to drive traffic to it. So if you've got
Hmm.
an Instagram, if you've got a Facebook, which you should have, if you don't, immediately set one up. And so what he just recorded a reel. The CTA was directly to the blog posts.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So he's driving direct traffic to the blog. He's extending the shelf life of this content. And maybe you could talk a little bit because I know most agents don't know this, but
yeah.
how does direct traffic influence organic results as well?
So the real simple version is that you have to imagine this as like a traditional business. You have to imagine that a real business would have different traffic sources from all across the web, whether that be from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. YouTube is a really crazy source. Like one of the guys that we work with, Matt Light, crushes it on YouTube. And we can send traffic directly from his YouTube to the blog post that we've kind of mirrored to the videos that he makes. Because the thing is, if you don't have traffic go into your content, and we've seen this for like how many odd 15 odd thousand agents we did this for,
Yeah.
like zero traffic or under 100 visits per month. So if you can't get traffic from Google, you have to get it from somewhere else. You just have to do it. And thankfully, Google takes those signals into account. That will then rank better on Google. And ChatGPT is now relying on Google 35% of the time, as opposed to Bing, which is now 8%. So the swings have changed. We used to be Bing, and now it's Google.
Yeah. But here's another use case. So social media for sure, that's probably going to drive a handful of clicks.
Yep.
Every agent has a database, and I think every agent is struggling to decide what to send to their database. So
Yep.
if you have this blog, right, whether you're using our prompts or something else, there you go. There's your email for the day or for the week. You have an audience of say 5,000 contacts, even with a 1% click-through rate. What's that? 50 clicks to this page.
Mm-hmm.
Like Google sees that, right? Oh, okay.
Yep.
There's a lot of direct traffic. People are coming to this page. It can indirectly influence your organic reach as well.
Yeah. And like in most areas, that would be enough. And like, super good point. If you do have an email, send it. And if it is it's tiny, tiny clicks, doesn't matter. It's probably still going to move the needle. So aside from Chase and just kind of like get the sense of the room, how many other agents there were, using similar things or doing similar things in their business? Was there a ton of them? Were there a few of them? What was the
Surprisingly
split?
not. Yeah,
Okay.
surprisingly not. What we're talking about here is specifically website content with the
Yeah.
purpose of organic reach. I think a lot of agents some are doing it themselves, some have VAs. A lot of them are using their website providers. There's a ton in real estate that provides and hosts their website and creates content. But the problem, their challenge is they can't do this for every agent at scale, right? It just
No.
doesn't work. And so the blogs you're getting are maybe it's your general seller tips, paint colors. Like you're never.
It's
Yeah.
terrible. I mean,
It's not.
I'll say it. The British
Yeah,
candor is terrible.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so bad.
It is. So if you want organic, in fact, I shared a stat. So we've looked at what now 25,000 websites. We've looked
Yeah.
at a lot of websites across every provider you've ever heard of in real estate specifically.
Yep.
And 53% of those 25,000 websites had no organic traffic, which is not surprising. I knew it would be bad. I didn't know it would be that bad.
That bad.
But it's not surprising because your websites aren't optimized, right? You're not creating the right content. There's no keyword research being done on these blogs. How can you have a national blog that gets syndicated to 1,000 different real estate agent websites? How's that going to rank? Like Google sees this duplicate content and says, no, good. Yeah.
Yep.
So if you're out there and your website provider is providing blogs, cool. Have you ever seen it on page one? Has it ever translated to traffic to your website? Have you ever received a phone call or a lead from this content? Likely not.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a real big shame as well, because I know it's one of the biggest expenses. Websites, marketing in general is super expensive. And we were able to solve for that relatively quickly just by paying attention to what the models do, how we can manipulate them, how we can get the best results for people quickly, because that is the most important part. And that's why, SEO has been such a turnoff for the agents. It's just, it takes too long, but that problem has been solved with AI search. So it might be worthwhile. We could potentially drop this in the link below. So if you want to grab that
Yeah.
training, we did a 25-minute mini course on it, and you get the prompt. We kept it exclusive for the guys from the lab. That's been a couple of weeks now, so we're going to drop it down for everybody to access. It is free, and you get 25 minutes of me explaining it to you. So the wise, charming British man will run you through it.
And don't worry, there's no Marmite or fish and chip references.
No.
It's purely business. So
Purely
this
business.
topic. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the topics for a second, because I think this is going to be helpful, because this is just
Yeah.
one topic, one keyword that we notice gets cited as a source in the models for basically all of our clients at this point. So living in he's in Cypress, California. I don't know the area too well. I think it's outside of Anaheim. But you can do the same blog for every town you work in, right? Or a similar blog targeting the same keyword. So living in town or city works really well. Best neighborhoods in, location versus location. So here where I live in Upton, Massachusetts, right next door is Hopkinton, right next door is Westboro. I think I even, on my agent website, I have a couple blogs that compare the two. What else we got? We've got cost of living. We've got is
it
X
safe?
location safe?
Yep.
Yeah. So if your goal is to be the agent that AI is recommending, these are the topics that I would be focusing on for all the towns that you service today. And so, yeah, that's the content I'd be creating, just like Chase has done here.
Yeah, for sure. But there is something new that you've done, and I'm gonna give you props for this because it was like
Yeah.
you did it pretty much overnight, which in the world of Tim Harvey,
I
I'll
got to
leave it
do a
there.
lot of work overnight. I got 3 kids at home, right?
About to say, it's like trying to find the time is impressive
Yeah.
in your household. I only have a dog, which is not that demanding, and then a wife who is slightly more demanding. So, um,
Shout out to Holly. Hey, Holly.
shout out to Holly. So what we did, well, no, actually, you did this, right? Because we were
Hmm.
seeing you wanted to test something,
Yeah.
see how quickly it would work for J Marks, right?
Yeah, this is pretty crazy. So so I mentioned different legs to the SEO stool. Let's say Chase does this. It doesn't guarantee he's going to be on page one. There are other factors. One would be his own authority, his
Hmm.
domain rating. All influences what sources the models pull from. Where are they citing, right? So where is OpenAI getting its information? Largely from the web. So what's it looking at? The top results on page one, right? So
Hmm.
this is how it's all tied together. So you've got to get to page one. How do you do that? You got to build your authority. And so one of the things we do is press releases, right? Off-page SEO. So we get our agents picked up in press, right? That gets syndicated across hundreds of websites, and it works. It works crazy well. I don't know if you have an example, Ryan, but of a press release that gets picked up by Yahoo Finance or Access Wire. When we do these press releases, assuming the agent has the production, the pedigree, they're deserving of being considered the best agent in their market. We get this picked up. It influences the models, and now Caitlin Warren, for I don't know what it's been, 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah,
She is the agent. What's the date there? June 30th.
June
Yeah.
30th. Yep.
So 2.5 months at this point, since we're at the point that we're recording this, she is dominating, and she's booked. Last time we asked her was a couple of weeks ago, but $1.4 million in appointments from this article alone, from this press release alone. So that was my inspiration. I said, okay, the press is working. We'll keep doing it, but it comes at a real cost. Like, we're paying for press placement. Is there a better way to do this, or is there another way? Give the models another data point. So I had this idea. I tested it with Jay. I said, what if we had a similar page about the best agent in this case, Flower Mound, Texas? And so we can go through the scroll slow, and I'll call it a few things. So you're seeing entities, the words that are bolded, right? Nouns, right? Best realtor, and this is the keyword, right? These are the keywords we're going after. So best listing agent, best realtor in Flower Mound. And then another thing we did is the H2s. Those are the sections you see there. Why J Marks is the top choice. What proven results does J Marks real estate have? We form these in questions intentionally
Hmm.
because the models, right, like ChatGPT, these are answer engines. How are people searching? They're searching like this: who is the best agent in near me, or who's the best agent in Flower Mound? Maybe they already know Jay. Tell me about Jay's experience. What awards has Jay received? What accolades has he received? So
Hmm.
we keep scrolling down. So we talk about the awards. He's received a few from Fast Expert, Denton County, best of in his county, I think like 10 years running. We talk about the neighborhoods inside of Flower Mound. If you keep going here, pulled some reviews intentionally. Zillow, Fast Expert, Google. Why did I do that? Because those are the top sources that ChatGPT, at least today, is looking at.
Hmm.
So if you were to search best agent in, sometimes chat gets lazy. It's not always sitting in the chair swirling the Merlot. It'll just look at Fast Expert or Rate My Agent and say, oh, these are the top three. That's it. Here are the
Hmm.
top three. And so I wanted to be able to kind of, you know, show chat that Jay has strong reviews and experience and awards from Fast Expert. Then we
Yeah.
got what else we got here? Market insights. That's important too. So fresh data. Chat loves nothing more than fresh market data, fresh statistics. And so we're pulling this probably July or August. I forget. Then there's some FAQs. FAQs, these snippets get picked up quite often. And so that's just another opportunity for us to get snippets referenced for Jay inside of, I say ChatGPT because it's like 90% of the AI user share, but all of the
Yeah.
models.
Yeah.
And
And it
lastly, a little bit about Jay at the end there.
it's one point you said as well, just to foot stomp it, is chat being lazy is such a good point because I guess the question that I would ask myself is, as an agent, do I want ChatGPT to just pick the easiest three? Fast Expert, Rate My Agent, Zillow, or do I want to control that as much as I can through press releases and even stuff on my own website? Like, that's, again, it's one of these points that it just kind of comes out of your mouth, as in, yeah, we just say it because we know it. But I think that's so important because you don't want your brand to be controlled on the web by anything other than you. Like that's the biggest kind of standout statement. And the kind of questions that you've got here, if you think about it, like the way that you've structured this, the way I look at this is that it's almost as if somebody would be asking the before and after questions, right? So, who's the best agent? It's Jay. Okay, what sales experience does he have? What neighborhoods does he work in, et cetera, et cetera. So you've done it in a way that is like logical for the next question to come, which in a conversational engine makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Scroll up to the top for me. Look at the
Yeah, yeah.
slug. So two other points I want to make, really three. But first, do this if you're an agent and you are, you'll call it that you're in the top 10% in your market based on production, years of experience, the awards and accolades, the recognition, and you're getting frustrated because you're saying, why the hell am I not being recommended as the best agent? We hear it all the time for our clients. It's why they
Yeah.
come to us to solve this problem for them. This is one of the things that again, I just tested this the last few days. The very next day when I did the same search I did the day before, Jay is now, I mean, the results will always vary. I would say go look to see if you do this on your end for Jay Marks. He's probably there. He's there on our end. But he is basically dominating that first section. It won't always stick. Meaning it won't stick forever. If it does, great. But we have to come back to this page and refresh it with updated housing data and things like that. Updated reviews, updated what else, Ryan? Updated
New questions that people,
statistics. Yeah, FAQs. Good point. Yeah.
new FAQs, new questions, and the best source of those questions is just the things that your clients ask you. When they get on the phone with you, you have a conversation with these guys. Just 5 minutes. Okay, what are these guys asking me? What's important? What could be useful on a page like this to help me become the best agent? So that you kind of also pre-qualify somebody, so that when somebody does finally pick up the phone and they've gone through this round of conversations and they've kind of asked 5 to 10 questions, by the time they've picked up that phone, you've already pre-qualified them to like a pretty decent extent. So the intent of that lead is going to be way, way higher. So these pages are not only great for AI search, but they're also, in a way, almost like pre-qualifying people for you being the right person for them. So it's a double win in my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, if your goal is to get more business, which I think every agent's goal is to, how do I grow my business through this market? Any difficult periods of time, overall sales are down. How do you compete? AI.
Yeah.
AI is the future. It's where everyone's going. Agents are already booking appointments. We mentioned Caitlin, Richard Berman out in Reno. Shout out to Richard. He's booked several appointments from people who are searching for this. My brother-in-law, outside of real estate in the HVAC space, we did some help. He's blood. Got to help him out too. But he booked an appointment within a few days of doing the initial press release. So press is one angle, but you could, without even spending $1, you can create a page just like we did for Jay here on your site. And again, if you have the production, I can't do this in Upton, right? I've never sold a house in Upton. I have a license. I have 2 transactions all time. There's no way that chat will see through the smoke. But if you have it and you're frustrated, why am I not being cited as the source? Why isn't my phone ringing from ChatGPT? These are just a couple of ideas of things you can do. So number one, create that agent page, the best agent in X town or X city. My recommendation is niche. So he's in northern Dallas, but we focus just on one town, Flower Mound, where he's located, where he has a lot of experience. That's number one. Number two, there are press releases you can get out there, paid placement. That works really well. And the last is the content that we described, living in best neighborhoods, location versus location. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a phone call, but it's going to, if you get cited as a source of the information for the answer, that is only going to help your authority, to be, the agent that AI is recommending in that given town.
Yeah, I love it. I think you've given somebody a complete framework there for AI search, AI visibility. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. There are obviously other things that influence, like you've said, the authority and whatever else. But doing those 3 things is going to be super, super critical for between now. And I think, honestly, if you don't do this between now and the next 12 months, it will be too late. Just hands down too late. Think about how quick everything has progressed from the start of the year to now.
Yeah.
So I think, that's from my point of view, I think that's, we've given them we've got the tool of the week, Nano Banana. We've got the GPT-5 tricks and using that. We've got your recap of Dallas, and shout out to Chase for taking action so quick, which is what we want people to do. And then we've just basically given you a framework that you could use straight away.
Now just go do it, right?
Just go do it.
Execute. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Like,
Because hey, let me foot stomp what you just said.
okay, hit me.
If you don't do it now, your competitors are going to figure this out, whether through
100%.
us or watching this podcast. They're going to figure it out.
Yep.
So do it now, because just like I'll go back to Google Business Profile. If you weren't the early adopter, agents recognizing the power of having more reviews, updated profiles, right, consistently, replying to reviews, adding content there, you will not dethrone those three until they retire, until that account goes away. So you're kind of screwed.
Yep.
Don't miss this boat. Like, do the work now. We just gave you the playbook. That's it.
Yeah.
Off
Just
my
go do it.
soapbox.
Yeah, let's go do it. That's like tactical, short and sweet. We kept it under 40 minutes, and within 40 minutes, every 10 minutes, we gave you a tip or a tactic or a strategy that you can go and do right now. If you're listening to this and you don't have the pleasure of seeing me and Tim, no dramas, you have missed out on two very handsome young men.
Young, yes, very, very young.
Very young.
Gray beard and everything.
Very young, not aged by stress or anything.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
Not 40.
Not 40. No one's pushing 40 on this call. Definitely not. But that's it. I think that's the first episode wrapped. Show me the sauce.
Show me the sauce.
Show me the sauce. And we showed you the sauce.
We gave you the sauce and the sauce.
We gave you the sauce and the sauce. That is the daddest joke.
Yeah.
And on that bombshell.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah. On that bombshell, I think we wrap it.
That's it.
I love it.
See you next time. Episode
See you next
2.
time, guys.